before we go on to England, who do you think's going to make the top four? I know we're not at quite the midway point, but it's a nice natural break in the. I say natural break. It's the World Cup, but there's a break in the league. Who do you think is going to make the top four? Because Spurs are doing this. Newcastle are on fire. Arsenal and City. Look, Arsenal and City are shoo-ins, I think. Let's just take them out of it. There's two places left: Newcastle, Tottenham, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea. Those five teams are fighting out for the two spots. Who, in your opinion, is making it?
It'd be nice if Newcastle made it, but I don't think they will. Depends what they do in January. I don't think they'll find it hard to buy players in January, by the way. Depends what players
no, they won't. They won't.
Yeah, some money talks. I think Man United will make it, and I'm going to say Tottenham. Now, at the moment, as it stands, I'd say Tottenham and Man United. I think Newcastle will drop out and Man United will go in. Chelsea. Do you remember the bet I had with that lad on this channel? I'm going to have to give him 200 quid at the end of the season, isn't I? He keeps commenting in my videos. You still got all that 200, yeah?
Hey, even if you guys had the biggest collapse in the history of the Premier League, you're probably still going to have to pay him that money.
Mate, they're pretty shafted, to be fair. But again, it's what these teams do in January. As it stands right now, yeah, I'd say Newcastle drop out and Man United go in. But goal difference could come into this, Terry. Right, and you ain't scoring a lot of goals. So I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? It's a bit of a weird one. Liverpool, they can string a load of results together, but they ain't proved that so far this season. Chelsea looks shot to pieces at the minute. Man United, they're playing all right, man. They're playing all right. But again, you're going to have some iffy results here and there. Tottenham have had the best start to a Premier League season, and they're still 8 behind us, and people say they're our rival. Good one. Man City, we know they'll go on a mad run, so they're in, and I think we'll get top 4 as it stands. Yeah. But a lot can change in 24 games, Terry.
That's
as it stands now. Yeah, I'd say Newcastle drop out and United go in.
Yeah,
but wouldn't it be nice if Newcastle got top 4 though? Like that'd just be class. From a year ago, this time last year, they were 19th in the league, and now they're 3rd. There's no 4-year process at Newcastle, mate. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy. But do you know what? It's going to be. It's that they've moved on very quickly. I still, my prediction hasn't changed. Just wanted to get yours. I said it on the top 6 on Monday. Spurs will get it, and I think Liverpool will come back. Even when they were going through their form and I was bantering them and having a laugh and a joke, I still couldn't write them off, and I still won't write them off because that what they'll do is just keep winning games and no one's looking at them, and suddenly they'll be a point behind the top 4. They'll buy in January and they'll be okay. They've got one of the best managers in the world, top 1, top 2. I think everybody would agree, and I just don't think that they were going for a bad period, and they're not as good as they were, but they're still good enough for the top 4. I think Antonio Conte is such a good league manager that he'll get them top 4, irrespective of how bad it looks. I think Newcastle, even if they buy, I think will just puff out. The one argument for them getting in more than anything, though, is they don't have no European football. So it may end up being, if they go out of the cup competitions, 1 game a week. But then they're not going to go out of the cup competitions because they're going to try and win something. Like, imagine how big a hero Eddie Howe becomes if he breaks it. Is it 60, 70 years since they won a trophy? Imagine he breaks that and makes it into the top 4. And like that for me is great success because that's a trophy and back in the Champions League a year into this new ownership. That is ridiculous levels. And I think for me,
signings have been. I said this yesterday. Sorry to cut you, mate. I said this yesterday with James Redmond. If you look at the players, because I was asking him why Liverpool have just fallen off a cliff, and he was saying the recruitment in the summer was shocking. If you have a look at the players that Newcastle signed, any top 6 team could have got them. Sven Botman at centre back was 30 mil. He's been one of the best centre backs in the league this season. Yeah. Then you've got Kieran Trippier. They signed him under that regime. Well, he's a decent player. Like Andy'll get the odd free kick here and there as well. He weren't that much money. I think he was about 20 mil, 18 mil, something like that. Then you go into midfield. They've got Bruno Guimaraes. We were linked to him. He trolled us when he signed for them. So that was a player that a top 6 team could have got. Then you go with Isak, the striker. I know he's been injured, and I think that's their biggest signing, 70 mil, 65 mil. But we could have bought him. You could have bought him. Anyone could have bought him. Chelsea needs a striker. You need a striker. We needed a striker. No, the only team we wouldn't have gone to probably is Man City because he ain't good enough. But I think like if you look at the players that they've actually signed, they're all players that a top 6 team could have got and are good enough to play in most top 6 teams. But they're not the ones that have really, apart from Botman, yeah, Bruno's been quality to be fair, but they're not the ones that have really kicked on this season under Eddie Howe. It's the ones that were already there. Callum Wilson,
Well, but this is
Almiron,
what,
players like that.
right, but this is what happens with standards of a club being improved and then people buying into it versus standards being improved at a club, but players going, "But I've loved getting away with earning a massive living for doing little." Newcastle's players are seeing investment. They're seeing the training ground improve. They're like, well, they're earning good money comparatively to the general man in the street, but look, I'm on 20 grand a week. If I don't improve myself here and get on board with it straight away, I'm going to be gone. But I want to be here for this ride. I bet the likes of Longstaff and John Joe Shelby and a few those kind of names are sitting there thinking, wow, like I might not last a decade here because of what's going on, but I might be like, if they make the Champions League this year, Longstaff will have a season in the Champions League. He would probably never have got that unless his new owners came in. No Champions League club is going to buy him, and vice versa. So everybody raises their standards. Everybody works harder on the pitch. Gary Neville's been calling this out with Man United for a while. Players will see, and this is the element of Ronaldo's interview that's true. Players will see this, the technology being poor, the things crumbling, falling around, the lack of standards. And they go, well, the club don't care, so why should I? Newcastle's players were having ice baths in paddling pools. At the Premier League, they're having ice baths in paddling pools.
Ronaldo would be fuming.
Exactly. But you suddenly install a new state-of-the-art training ground with every mod con available. The message is they're serious. This even happens in the industry that we work in. If you get like someone wants you on their channel and they send you an official email, what they want, how they want your camera to look, where the earphones do that, you think, oh, they're bloody serious. If it's just turn up, we go live at 6, but turn up at our past if you want, or do this if you want. Yeah, you don't take me seriously, but we kind of know you're doing another show straight after. But there's an element of like you can tell when you're dealing with a fly-by-night group or if someone's serious and how serious they take it and the standards. Like when I'm in my studio, I like it clean, I like it tidy, and I like all the equipment being respected. Because if I have that attitude, the staff have that attitude, things think that the standard is better. Does that make sense? And Newcastle have raised their standards, so the play on the pitch. And this is why football fans who just look at football as if you've got good players and a good manager, or you've got a good manager and spend money, you succeed. It's nonsense. It's every element of how that football club is run from top to bottom that dictates how good you are and how you maintain that quality. And Liverpool are well run in nearly every other area. But the last 2 to 3 years, they've failed to invest to keep up with other people. They've failed to invest. It isn't the general day-to-day running that's the problem, is they've gone, we're not putting any more money in. And as soon as they've stopped doing that, they've slightly fallen away. And it's taken a year or so for that to come to fruition. But it has. But yeah, I'm going to go Newcastle coming 5th, Man United coming 6th. I had United coming 6th anyway. I think Newcastle will finish above us this year. If we go out in January and do something crazy, then maybe it will change, but we will see. Super chat here says, big up Terry, loving the content. Big up Don Lee. Thank you, bro. Thanks, Terry, for being the level-headed one here. No, not a problem, Kenny. I'm not always level-headed.
What does level-headed mean? I see that a lot. I see Arsenal fans saying, I'm a level-headed gooner. No, you're not.
Balanced. I think it means balanced. But...
Balanced? Have you seen our fan base about balanced? I'm balanced. I'm the one saying that, we can't do this because of this. These people are getting carried away, running off, going, oh, we're top of the league. We can't hear you from up here. Okay, do you think we'll win it? Nah, top 4's the aim. How's that level-headed? That's just dumb. Level-headed is saying we can win the league, but we need to get a couple of players. I don't see anyone saying that.
This here says, as an Arsenal
I'm holding the standards.
I know you are, mate. As an Arsenal fan, I find that Terry analysed football better than Lee Gunner because you're too emotional.
Yeah, because it's my football team. I've supported it nearly 40 years. Why would I not be emotional about a club that I've supported nearly my whole life? Terry's got no emotion to Arsenal, even though you all think he's a gooner. Yeah, so he's going to speak more logically about it because I'm talking from the heart. Terry's talking from his head because he don't support Arsenal.